Today, we're talking about an amazing tool that I am just scratching the surface on of what we're doing, but there is so much stuff that is helping me run my business better. AI is easier than you think. It doesn't mean that it's doing the job for you. It is helping you, and you're going to see more of that as we go. But it is like a personal marketing assistant or a business strategist. And I can tell you from my experience yesterday, I could not have done what I did yesterday. And you're going to hear more about it as I talk and show stuff. But I could not have done the day that I did yesterday without AI because I did not have enough manpower to do it. Because we cannot plan when blizzards are coming. I had 24 hours notice, kind of thing, but I did not have weeks and months. And I'm gonna jump right to the punchline. I was closed yesterday. I had 55 orders and $2,600 in sales. Not bad for a day that I was closed, right? More than double my average day. So that's the punchline. And I'm going to tell you how I got there. Okay, so it is, I think often that I'm going to use my friend Roseanne and I, when we drive, we love to, like talk about our 17-hour trip to Houston to like Quilt Market. Oh, the ideas we would come up with. I mean, I know that so many of these ideas I could get to at some point, maybe a few 17-hour drives with Roseanne, but I don't have that time. I don't have that luxury. And AI is making it happen faster. And it's helping me refine. I love that word, that it's refining what I'm thinking faster and easier than taking a 17-hour drive, to do that. I do pay for the $20 version of ChatGPT. I was on the free version to begin with. I encourage everybody, if you have not started a chat account, to get one started. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. And the benefits of signing up immediately is that it will start to retain your information. And there's so many things that we could talk about. But I told David he's going to have to kind of keep me reeled in because I don't want to get sidetracked. But one of the things you want to do when you do sign up for ChatGPT is when you create your account, go in and fill out all of the settings, and you can actually have it ask you a variety of questions. And the more you want it to know about your business, the better the answers are going to be that you get back. Okay. And we're going to start with an example of like, how simple is this, right? Okay. I can't type and talk. Okay. So simple. I'm writing write 5 social media posts about the fabric sale I'm having. It's going to think and immediately churn out. Now, okay, chat, because I'm an account, it already is jumping in, and I did yesterday because I did a sale on Christmas fabric and solidish prints. It's already making the assumption that that's the fabric sale that I want. Okay, but it continues, and if I keep my arrow going down, all 5 of those posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts, and it knows I like emojis, and it knows that I like hashtags. So it's adding all of that in. Now, if I were to say, I'm trying to give it more. You see how what I'm doing is I'm giving it as much more detail as I can at the moment, right? Within what we have. And I'm going to hit go. And now what it's going to do is it's going to give me short and snappy. It's going to give me more specific to that it's timeless treasures. If I put the link in there, it would also add that. So now it's giving me another suggestion, swipe for splash of color. It's even giving me a suggestion of a photo down here. That's what this is. But do you see that just like it's starting to add even more information about all of the different colors. Here's a storytelling and inspiration idea. It's going to keep going. Okay. So you get the idea that it as simple as, and if anybody wants me to, I'm going to go back to my other screen, but the idea is the more detailed you get with your post, the better you are. And for example, I am working with my daughters to use AI as as they're working on their businesses. And we were brainstorming an idea, and Goldie typed in, give me 5 ideas for designer trends. And it came back with some really funky, weird stuff, right? And I said, okay, Goldie, let's go back. Give us 5 themes and colors that are appropriate for women, young women in their teens and their 20s, and in fashion accessories. And wow, the difference between those two posts was 2 answers was amazing, because it went from these funky, weird things to exactly what is trending, you know, strawberries and all that kind of stuff. And it was very, very specific to her, what her request was. And so the more detail you can give, the better. Okay. So it's easier than you think. What is the difference? And we were talking a little bit about this beforehand. The free version, great for experimenting in simple tasks. At some point, it will tell you you've used all the memory. You either need to start deleting stuff, or you can move on and go to the $20 version, which is what I do at the moment. What I told the gentleman before we went on here is that I wish somebody could show me how going from $20 to $200 would change. I get what they're saying, that it's faster response at times, but how much different would it be? And I do not have an answer for that yet. But I know, I can tell you, I get my $20 worth over and over and over. And if AI could save you an hour a day, would that be worth it to you? And I would probably tell you that it's probably saved me $200 a month already. And it's probably a no-brainer to go to the next. As we look at this, I want to, a couple of things. One, a friend of mine who's in the technology world recently said, we should be using AI in some form every day, because AI is literally changing overnight, and it's not going away, and you're seeing it pop up in all sorts of places. So we might as well start using it. The second thing is, in the chat, I put a document from Kelly Crawford, and she is a writer. She does social media marketing, and I wanted to share that with you. It talks in there about generative as well as agentic. And I liked how she explained it But I also liked how my friend that is in the business explained it. So I'm going to say it this way. So generative AI is, I want to know what kind of pizza I could possibly make tonight for supper. And it gives you back an answer, right? As we go farther, and he referred to that there were multiple tiers, and we keep going up these tiers, and then the agentic is the next kind of is going up. And David, this will speak to what we were talking about before we went on air here, is that the next stage is we're going to be saying to AI, I want a pizza. What kind of pizza could I have? And can it be delivered by 6:30 tonight? And it's going to potentially do that for you and take care of that for you.
So Heidi, I just the differences between the $20 a month and the $200 a month version.
Yes.
I just asked ChatGPT, and it told me that as you said, it's access and availability, faster responses, but the biggest thing is around the greater subtlety and the greater ability to handle complex queries, to be able to do the kinds of things that you just outlined. So at that higher price version, you're going to get more nuance.
Yep. And I could absolutely see that. So I want to go into now using ChatGPT as your marketing assistant. Okay, so if you are not following the weather in Iowa, I'll bring you up to speed. We had a blizzard yesterday. Yes, it's March 5th, and there was no snow on the ground before, and there's barely no snow on the ground here in central Iowa, although I know parts of Iowa and Minnesota and different places got more snow. But basically, it was a blizzard with the idea that we were going to be closed. This is the third Wednesday in 1 month that we've had major storms and have had to close. And this is the third event that I have planned with ChatGPT's help. So I can explain the first two if you would like, but I thought I would go through how I used ChatGPT in creating yesterday's event. Okay. So we called it Winter Whites and Brights virtual event. And we're going to go through each of these bullet points. So first of all, on this screen, you can see the logo that it created for me. This was probably the 5th or 6th version. One of the things that is not perfect about ChatGPT is that sometimes it spells things wrong. I feel like it does better if I put things in quotes so that it's very clear as to what I'm doing. Don't know if that really is making a difference, but I seem to feel like that's a little bit better. And sometimes I correct it and I tell it like, hey, you spelled the word, wrong. The second thing that it does not do well, and again, I think the $200 version the pro version would be better at this, is that it's giving me web pages, not PNGs or JPEGs. So I basically get it as large as I can on my screen and take a screenshot. And, these are not logos that I'm going to be using in print or anything like that. I think it's a pretty beautiful logo and it fit my need and I'm done with it, right? And it literally took a matter of 30 seconds and you're going to see more of that. So I start by brainstorming, and I talk to it like it's my friend, and that my children laugh at me. They're like, oh, your mom, your friend. And I'm like, yeah, my friend, Chat. And I even asked Chat one time if I could call it something in particular. And no, I could not give it a name, but it recognized that, that I like to be personal in my communication with my customers and with the people I know, and that it would remember that for what I wanted to do. And I can absolutely see the more I train it to have my voice, the better it is getting. So we went through a process of theme. So again, I'm chatting typing in and telling it we're having a blizzard. It's March 5th, and I'm giving all the details that I want to get, and it gives me. I ask it to brainstorm, so then it gives me several things. I choose the one I want or adjust to what it's giving me. And then we start to talk about what the day is going to look like. So we're building the event framework. So we're talking about all of these things. I have done scavenger hunts on our website, that kind of thing. I mean, we've done sales offers, social media posts, lives. Yesterday, I added a Zoom into my day to break it up and to make it different. I always tell chat what is my goal. Is my goal customer engagement? Is my goal sales? What is it? And sometimes it's a combination of all of those things. Promotional strategy. What are the tools that I can use? So constant contact, Cognito forms, my POS, huge part of that, right? And Facebook Live. I do have Instagram. My posts go to Instagram. I do not feel that's where my following is. It's on Facebook. But I say we're going to use these tools and all of that. So it then is every time I hit return, and I could show you the whole ongoing spew if you'd like, but this is what's it's coming back, and it's telling me what we could do and how we could do it. It's not 100% correct. You have to watch for how it changes things, or if you decide to call it something different. But the key takeaway here is that I'm not starting from scratch, and it helps me create content very, very quickly. Okay. I do not have a ton of resources in people. The girls did have to have school yesterday virtually. So it wasn't like I don't have them sitting there helping me with stuff like that. For those of you who don't
Heidi,
know. Yeah.
we've got a question from Bridget. She's
Yeah.
asking whether or not you've also compared this to other tools like Microsoft Copilot.
I have not used Copilot yet. I have not.
Okay, all
I
right.
need to start playing with it, but I have not. One of the things that I think is key, and what I'm loving about chat is okay. I'm thinking. I'm wearing all these hats, right? We're all as small business owners. We're wearing all these hats, and like, what am I looking at with this event? Am I doing it right? What am I doing? How am I doing it? So I did this the first event of these three that I'm talking about. I said, chat, how are we going to know if this is a success or not? And so I did that again yesterday. I'm like, okay, how are we going to evaluate this event before it ever starts? So again, it knows me enough, right? And you can start to see it's actually this is directly out of chat. I didn't write any of this. This is all from chat. It's telling me I'm going to look at total sales. I'm going to look at order volume. I'm going to look at average order value, best-selling items, what didn't sell. And the takeaway is identify which promotions were most effective and what products worth featuring in future sales. So I'm like, okay. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, I know how I can get the answers to these, right? I know what tools I have on my POS that I can do that. Okay. Engagement. What am I going to look at? I'm going to look at Facebook Live. How many people, how many comments, how many shares, how many coupons, my total, and you're going to see some of the results of this, right? And because at this point we've been brainstorming, it's even saying what types of posts performed best. Polls, reminders, Ruby's post. Ruby's our dog, right? It knows that we have a dog, and it knows that customers, that Cool Chop, at least in the Cool Chop world, Customers react to their dogs and cats. We've talked about that. We've done posts about that. So it actually suggested, when I started brainstorming, it said, can you get a can you get a picture of Ruby outside and post Ruby's reaction to the blizzard? Well, I did post Ruby's reaction. It was snoring and sleeping. I posted pictures of her sleeping. Okay, so poll participation. Let's go on to email performance. I use Constant Contact. It collects data. So
Hey,
I would have
Heidi,
yes,
before you go
yes,
on to that, Lyric Kennard has just jumped in and said that she's seen that all of these tools work really well after you spent the time to really train the tool, which is what you've just said. That the more time you spend working with a particular tool, the better it's going to be able to shape what it's giving back to you. So it's
abs
specifically relevant for you and your community.
absolutely, Lyric. Absolutely. It is so key that the more information, again, you're gonna see that, like, it's taking my voice, and if I see it gets to be too rigid or too, I tell it. I say, I would never use that word, right? So that it never brings up that word again. I'm not a big word person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have a vocabulary of some 25-letter word that I would use. So if it starts to use language that was not mine, I would tell it, I would respond and say, oh, I don't like that. That isn't how I would talk. So it's just as important to say what I would say, how I would react. You know, I always uh, let's um, when you it's only going to, like any tool, it's only going to you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And I say that about our POS system all the time. Our POS system that I use, I'm sure it could cook me supper if I actually knew how to use all the functions of the POS system, but I'm not trained in 100% of it. So it's the kind of thing, more you put into it, the more you get out of it. Absolutely. Okay. Email and website performance. So again, email, I can absolutely get data from my Constant Contact and know how you're going to see those results as we go on here. Website traffic. Okay, this is where the tool of our POS system. My POS system is Rain Retail, like so, for those of you that are in the quilt industry know it as that. I'm telling you, the ability to make a web page instantly and to be able to edit that instantly and to keep adding content all day long myself, how I want it to, to do it, is invaluable. And I kept sending people back to my website. I wish I had a better grasp on Google Analytics. With the changes, I haven't got that rehooked up. I'm not perfect in all the different aspects, but I know my website traffic soared yesterday without even, getting the data, because they had to go to my website to even participate in the polls that I did. So again, and that's my constant goal, is to get people, because I own the website and I own that, that's mine territory, and I can control what I put on there and that you can see it. Okay. Okay. Again, these are all things chat was saying to me to think about before we went on with this project. Who participated? Did I recognize repeat buyers or new customers? Yes and yes. Big purchases. Yes, our average sale yesterday was actually, I think it ended up being in the 45, 46. I can't remember. Take the number divided by 55. I can't remember at the moment, but I do know there was one new customer, because she called herself out as, I'm new to the, how does this work? What questions come up? Do people ask for specific future stuff? Okay. And common pain points. I'm going to just address that for a minute. The one problem I have on events like this is that some customers do not know when they're on Facebook or when they're on a website. And I think some of you will understand that, but they don't understand that they're looking for something and I'm telling them it's on my website, and then they're telling me they're on Facebook. And so it's interesting to try to understand how to keep it as simple as possible. So I kept putting my web link in every post. I tried to put it in every post so that I could keep pushing them back to the website, because there are some customers who do not understand where they're at on their phone. They're confused. Timing worked. And again, there were things I could go through this point by point, but there were things I did yesterday that I would do over, and there were things that I wouldn't do again. I can tell you that I had 55 orders by 4:30 p.m. and I got one order after 5 o'clock. So that tells you that between 8 and 5, they were with me. Absolutely. And the minute 5 o'clock rolled around, they were done. So I thought that was a really interesting, I'll say, piece of information. I find it interesting. So, all right, some final reflections. What would work? We're going to, talk about all those things, right? So just, again, this is all chat helping me think about how I'm addressing this from a business perspective. This is where I call it a business advisor. Okay. So then we had to create some high quality marketing materials, right? If I'm going to do this event, I want it to live up to the standard of what Hen and Chick Studio is going to present. And so that's where I showed you the original logo that I had it create, because I wanted it to be winter whites and brights, and we were talking about high contrast, so strong colors, and it fits my style. I've created logos before, so it knows that I'm a quilter, because I'll tell it I want a quilt themed, I want it square, all of those kinds of things. And then it helped me create the engaging posts. I'm a writer. I was a magazine editor for 17 plus years. I have the ability. I love to write. There's nothing that I don't enjoy. I could not have sat down and have written all the posts that I created yesterday without the help of ChatGPT. It's just, I couldn't have done it. Okay. So it helped me write all of this stuff. Live video scripts and recaps. Some of this I didn't use as much as, like, it suggested a few things, and I am not a script user. When I go live, I am 100% live, and it is happening as I speak. That's just me. But for somebody, even a few weeks ago, we announced a toiletry drive, and Goldie and Virginia were participating in it because they are doing it as part of a senior project at school. And they're like, I said, okay, well, we're going to do a video. Well, what are we going to say? So I went into ChatGPT and I said, give me some pointers. I gave it, a whole bunch of outline, and I gave it to him in the morning. And I said, we're doing this at 5 o'clock. Read up, be ready to go. And so if you need that help, by all means, it's there to help. But it absolutely saved hours. So just to show you, literally, we were making these on the fly yesterday as I was, I worked from 6:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. yesterday. It wasn't a shy day. It wasn't a short day, even though it was a blizzard. And I would start to do something. I'm like, oh, I need a image to go on my website to create the category where the sale fabrics are. And I said, it's going to be Christmas fabric. So can you make a high contrast red and green in the same theme that you are doing it? And these are just a few of the ones it helped me create yesterday. There was one time that it told me that it was busy and that it couldn't do what I was requesting. which was fine. I came back a little bit later and I said, do you now have time to draw another logo with a blah, blah, blah theme? And it said yes. So all of these, plus a few others, were all created yesterday on the fly as I was going. Okay. This is just to show you a sample post. When I'm doing social media posts in general, I like it to have emojis, and I like hashtags. You can see here that the link, it was right here. So again, I'm always saying where to go, tell them what to do. I got no hidden agenda here. It's exactly, I'm telling them exactly what I want to have happen. Okay, so running the event in real time. So here's some real facts. These are real facts. So it helped me generate poll questions. It gave me, I think, 8 questions. I picked 3. I chose to use Cognito Forms. I pay $15 a month for Cognito Forms. And what I like about Cognito Forms is that I literally can put it, I can embed it, or I can use a link, and that link is then on our website. If you go to henandchickstudio.com/winterwhite right now, they're still there and you can still participate. I haven't disabled those. So you could literally still participate in my polls. You don't have any option for prizes because they were given away at 4 o'clock yesterday. But you can see there, I had 162, 141, and 111. One of the questions that chat asked me in that, how's this, did participation die off? Yeah, it did. It did. Now, am I still happy with this? You bet I am, right? I'm still happy with this. But there's that. Video content. I did lives at 10 and 12 and 4. So I did all those. So one of the things I do with those lives, and I say this again, another tool is YouTube. The minute I got done with the live, I upload it to YouTube, and then I posted that YouTube on my website. So the content is being repurposed and reused multiple times. So got that? Okay, everybody, good. And David, you'll tell me if there's more questions.
I certainly will. Yep.
Okay.
All good.
And then,
actually, right when you
yes,
asked that, Brooke has just chimed in and asked what platform is used to create the images.
that was all chat.
ChatGPT, right?
Yep. And you can now create projects in chat. So like I can go back to that screen and I can show you, but I did it all in ChatGPT. And again, I have the $20 version. So I decided yesterday to try Zoom to get a different. I ended up with 46 people live. I made a mistake. And when I did a last minute reminder on Facebook, I put the Zoom link and I forgot the passcode. So I had about 6 people that said, I can't get in. I don't know the passcode. I didn't see those because it was just me. I didn't have time to be monitoring all the different places. I addressed each of those and said, I'm so sorry. We tried very hard, but and we did not, I could have recorded the Zoom and I could have turned that into a YouTube, but how do I say this? The content wasn't maybe as stellar as my lives kind of thing. I just didn't feel like it was worthy of recording. So I did Zoom. Yes.
Heidi, Wendy has asked a really good question, which is, can I give my art and photo images to chat instead of having it generate some?
I have tried that. And again, this is where I think the $200 version would probably be better. I did upload early on my logo and it helped pick out colors, but it has not, and I need to go back and play with it some more. It did not at the time, and again, it's been 6 months ago easily. So I should do it again because it's changed since then. It did not easily translate my exact logo into the artwork. It came up with roosters and hens and all sorts of things and stuff that were cool, and I like it, but it did not immediately take my logo and make it into something that I was pleased with.
Do you have any worries if you're trying to load some of your own artwork or your own photography that you consider to be proprietary, your own?
Sure.
That
Sure.
that's now going out into the world and could be used by somebody else.
So I'm going to say two answers. One, at the end of Kelly's article, she says, if you don't want chat to know about it, then don't tell it. Right? Number two, go to my website. I bet you can download my logo. It's already out there. Right? I mean, that's the truth of it, is my stuff is already out there. So how am I going to protect it? And again, maybe I'm naive on that, but it is, it's already out there. People could be screen capturing my website day after day after day, and I would have no control over that.
Yeah, and that's certainly true with things that you've already made public, but if there are things that you consider to be proprietary,
yep, don't give it to chat.
Be aware of that. Yep.
That's right. Yep. If it's something you do not want somebody else to see, then don't. I did ask it to go to my website one time, and I said, can you go to Hen and Chick Studio? And I can't remember what I was asking it at the moment. And it wouldn't. It said, we're sorry, we can't go to a specific website. But when I ask it to do research, it will give me specific websites. So, and so I don't quite understand. I mean, this is new enough. I don't quite understand how that all works, but we were doing a ladies' night here in Conrad, and I was looking for inspiration. So I said to chat, I said, I want to know what other small communities, Main Street businesses are doing to attract women to their Main Street to shop and dine for special events. And it took me to 2 local community pages, kind of thing. So it went to those pages, but it didn't, but at the same time, when I asked it to go to my own website, it wouldn't. So interesting, right? I mean, again, it's probably changing. Again, engagement, help me with drafts, responses, reminders. I mean, literally the words real-time marketing assistant. It was exactly that. I couldn't have worked faster with, myself. I couldn't have done it. And I like to think I'm quick, right? Okay. Let's analyzing results and measuring success. So again, here are some facts very specific to yesterday. My email, I sent it to 9,864 subscribers at 7:34 on March 4th. Okay. I rarely ever send out an email at night. So that, number one, I was a little worried about that, like what that would look like. So the average, when I took the facts here, the 38.5%, that was at like between 5 and 6 o'clock yesterday. Okay. So after the event was over, I was trying to gather all my details. And so in a 24-hour period, I had a 38.5% open rate, which is about 10% less than my normal open rate. So, and then the second thing I normally do with emails is send them out twice. You can do a resend to non-openers, which always increases your open rate, something you should always be in a practice of doing. I did not do that with this email because there was no point, right? I couldn't wait 48 hours and then say, oh, by the way, we had an event yesterday. So I did not do that. But I still had 38.5% open rate. I had 1.8% click rate. Not bad for less than 24 hours. and again, a nighttime email. I then, of course, always content. If you create content once, I can't beat it over the head enough. You've got to share it as many times as possible. So of course, I shared that link to Facebook and had a post about that. Okay, so that they could go read my newsletter. Social media. These are just some highlights. These are obviously, I typed in all of my results and chat helped me pull out the top 4 things to look at. By all means, my morning live was the best. Look at that. This is, again, I'm pulling the results at 5 o'clock last night. I have not gone back into today. And we always need to remember there's a residual effect, right? And that there's always going to be more. So obviously you can see I never worry about, this is going to sound funny, but I never worry if there's nobody on my live or not, because of course, again, the residual effect. In this particular case, I was thrilled that they were following along. I had the schedule on that main hub page on our website. So there's a thing. And yes, Ruby's post did well. People love Ruby. Okay. Who doesn't like a dog sleeping with her toy? Okay. So here's the true facts. 55 orders, a little over 2,500, 1 order after 5 p.m., which then pushed us over the $2,600 mark. As of to date, I'm averaging just over $1,100 a day. And so I had a more than double a day. Now, you know, I don't know how today's going to turn out. So maybe what I really did was did 2 days of business in 1 day. And that's okay, right? I was able to move older inventory. And that one I discounted it at 55%. So I, not great margins, but it's all paid for. It's miscellaneous Christmas stuff that I looked at it and said, what are we going to make with this? Right. Cause it's odd pieces that are left. And then Solidish is a brand new collection that we got in, and there's 45 bolts of it. I bought it at a really good price. And so I knew I was still making a very good profit, even with a 35% discount. Okay. I always go in with a plan of like, not just a sale on everything, right? Not just a random sale. So why did it work? Gauging, content, consistent communication, strategic offers. I was able to be efficient and execute it well. Okay. So here's one thing that I love is that AI didn't replace my voice, it amplified it. And I think that is something that Lyric addressed it earlier. The more you talk to it, the more you are going to get out of it. And that's absolutely what I'm seeing is that it's representing us well. Absolutely. AI is going to continue to work with me on so many different things that help, future events. We brainstorm all the time. I kind of go between, I'm going to say creating content and the business aspect of it. So like now that I can create a project, I have a project that I'm participating in Marie Forleo's B School. Okay. It's something I've done for years and I like the content and I like that. So when I created the B School project where I'm answering a bunch of questions that Marie gives us, I've set that project up to say, this is not emoji. There's no emojis. There's no hashtags. This is a professional business. You are my business advisor in this project. Everything that we're talking about, I want professional conversation. Okay. So what I say is, how can AI help your business? And what is it that you're doing that it could help you with? Sometimes it's fun. I'll give you an example of that. And I'm going to stop here, I think, because I think there's my phone number and my email. Okay, I'm going to leave that there for a minute. But like, just to give you an example of what's fun sometimes, right? Just to get outside of your own head and stuff. I have a new cleaning lady because I'm losing my girls to college, which is very exciting. But they have been such good employees at Hen and Chick Studio, so I am trying to figure out how to cover all of those things. And we've got a new cleaning lady. It's critical that our retreat centers are clean and up to snuff, kind of thing. Who wants to be called the cleaning lady, right? And so I said to Chad, I had this new employee that, and I said it just like that. Who wants to be called the cleaning lady? She is now the shine and sparkle specialist at Hen and Chick Studio. And, it's stuff like that that can, make what we do on a day-to-day basis just even more fun and more creative.